Hey folks, so today in this video we're going to show how to take these rusty, corroded, but still working calipers and restore them and make them look good again. As you can see, we verified that the brake pads look they're about 60%. Yeah, the other one's about the same here. The lines have been cut off because it's for a different application. We're not even going to use these lines. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to fully disassemble one of them. Probably this one looks worse, and we will completely restore this one first so that we can turn back and use this one as a reference just in case we forget how something goes together. Now, there isn't a lot of parts in these, but there is a possibility you could put it back together wrong. So that is how we're going to do it. So the first step will be disassembly. So now we've got the basics of it torn down here. We've got the actual caliper right here. And as you can see, the piston right here is just a single piston caliper. And we verified earlier that the piston, I don't know if I can do it one hand here, but yeah, there we can do it. You can see I can move it slightly in and out. It's not seized. And so there is no reason for us to remove it and do anything with it. It's not seized. It moves quite nicely actually. So this style caliper here, just like all of them, it uses sliders. This is one of them that would, I believe this one screws into this side, and they hold this part of the caliper onto it. Yeah, it looks like that would have been correct there. So anyways, this here, this side goes in here, and it's got to be very greasy, whatnot, to make sure that it slides back and forth. And on this one you can see that there is, not only it's very dry, but there is quite a bit of corrosion and there's dust on it. So that will have to be cleaned off with a wire brush, so it's very smooth, and then be re-greased. So the other thing that we'll do is we can take the pads out of it. We've got the mounting hardware here, that slider. Usually to take the pads out, it's not that difficult, just a couple little pops. And it's tough to do one-handed though, mind you. Yeah, looks like they're probably out now. There we go. There, both pads are out, and they don't appear to be that old. You can see there is a slight bit of probably that one slider being a little bit not moving nicely. It's worn down a little bit more on the one side, and again on this one. So what we can do is, instead of replacing the pads, we could replace them, it's always an option, but instead of doing that, we could take some sandpaper and go along and smooth them out flat so that they're even. So I'm not sure exactly which route we'll take just yet. And now these are serviceable parts. They're meant to be actually just tossed away every time you do the brake pads. Usually the kit comes with new ones. These metal little brackets here, they just pop into place, and they are meant to be greasy and able to move properly. And as you can see, they are very dry, got dirt on them, and they don't look like they've been done in a while. But I believe they will clean up. So we will try to clean them up and see what we can do. So we've painted the caliper. Now we are on to cleaning up these that are the movable parts for the pads. So basically the end of the pads here, those parts, they sit in the grooves on these, and this is what allows them to slide. Now obviously you can see that these are quite rusty and dirty. They're not in bad shape. If I had new ones, I would just replace them, and if I bought a pad kit, it would come with new ones usually. But I can take a wire brush, clean it up, and re-grease them. So that's what I'm going to do. The slider here, I wire wheeled it, got it all clean. You can see there's a little bit of pitting on it from it having been all dried and rusty. That isn't going to affect it. It's just going to get greased up again, and it should be sliding in and out just fine again. The other slider, this one, it will get cleaned. It seems to have been greased properly, and it doesn't need anything other than just a clean and re-grease. So now, having painted these, I don't actually recommend painting them unless you're going to take them completely apart. Now, I've used a paint that is it's a engine enamel, so it's meant for high heat, as well as it does not affect rubber components, because I knew I was going to get it on the rubber components there. And it's likely to just fall off the rubber components because it'll probably just flake off. So that's not a big deal. If I was going to do it the proper way though, I would completely fully disassemble the pistons, everything out, and then paint it after wire wheeling the crap out of it. But for my application, this is going to work, and it'll look good, and it's going to be for an off-road application, so it'll be function over looks mostly, but it should look good as well. Alright, once I got these cleaned up, I'll probably show you guys what it looks like reassembled and how good it looks. Alright, I'll show you. Doing the pads, it's good measure to get the back plate a scrub, get all the crap off of it, make it nice and smooth again, shiny. But also, as you can see, there's a slot going through here, and it's blocked halfway with brake material matter. What you want to do is just kind of give it a tap, and it should just come out. You want to clear that. And there it is, cleared. Nice and cleared. And then we'll resurface it with some sandpaper and make them flat. Alright, so we have now we've wire brushed all the parts here that are going to be for movement, for sliding. So everything is all nice and clean now. Now what we're going to add is a silicone brake caliper grease, and basically just going to put a little bit on my finger and just wipe it all around. We don't want excessive amounts on because it will just attract dirt. So anyways, this is for all the movable parts. So if I can get some out here. So it's fairly thick stuff, as you can see. So that is tons for one side here. And now, as you can see right here, where the pad is going to sit is where I'm going to apply it on both sides. So I'm just going to rub that around, massage it around, and basically get it so it's all sticky in there. And that is plenty for that side. Now I've still got a little bit left I can use on there. So I'll get some more here. Put some more in there. Again, you don't want too much or it'll just attract dirt and you'll just have big amounts of dirt. So now as you can see, there we got it evenly distributed. As you can see, you don't actually see the grease. You can tell like it looks wet. And really that's all that you want. You don't want to be able to see the grease. So now if I wanted to, I could put the pads back in. The pads themselves, the edges here, I've wire brushed them, cleaned all the stuff off of them. So they are ready to be assembled. So this slider here, we'll get it nice and greased and ready. So I'll just rub it all around it. Get it down past that boot. So now when you're looking at your calipers, you'll probably notice that there's some differences, and there will be unless you're doing the exact same model of these calipers, and that's fine. The principles of them are all the same. So you may have more than one piston. Your sliders may be in a different sort of configuration, but the principles of it are all going to be the same. So as you can see, also the paint overspray here, I didn't mask off a lot of stuff, and that I don't care about. That's fine. It's not the best paint job. I don't recommend painting them. I'm just trying to prevent a little bit more of the corrosion from happening right away. And the line, I left it on basically because I'm not going to use this line, so I left it on to seal it so that paint would not get inside the caliper. So that is why it's on there. I've got different lines to use. So anyways, that is all greased up, and now we will do the reassembly of it. Okay, so I've placed the pads back inside. They're a little bit loose because they're not like seized in there anymore, so I can easily with my fingers just knock them out of place. I did sand them, but I forgot to record that, so unfortunately I don't have a recording of sand them flat. But all that I did basically was just sat them flat on the table here and just went straight across until they looked like they're even. So now we can put it back into place here into the caliper. And so if I can do this one-handed, I've got the other slider in place here and it's all greased, and I think I'm actually going to back it out for this. So I'll push it outward here just because I think it's going to be in the way otherwise. So now that should just slide right in place. Yeah, just sliding right in there. It's all nice and greasy. And get that, there we go, and the rubber lip went over top there. Now it looks like we may have to push the piston back in a little bit. Yeah, looks like we'll have to do that. Which is not a big deal. So might be able to do that just by hand here. No. Okay, so I've got a C-clamp on here now, and I'm going to push the piston back in. So maybe I'll stick a screwdriver in between there to hold that up. No, that doesn't want to help it stay. There, it's kind of holding it now. Now try to get this so I can show you guys. So I'm just going to tighten this along here. And as you can see, brake fluid coming out the other side here, and the piston is going back in. And I'm really not even using much strength here to put it back in. It's going in pretty easy. Let me put a rag on here. Try to catch that. The piston is back in there. And it's probably in there far enough now. I'll just give it one more little turn here. There. I'll pull the C-clamp off. There, C-clamp is off. Now the piston is receded back in there. Now we can put the pads down here, and it should just, we'll have to pull that back just a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we'll have to tighten this bolt that holds is back onto the caliper here. I keep forgetting what this piece is called here, but basically this piece just holds the brake pads. So now we will tighten this down here, and it'll hold it in place. Okay, so the bolt is in all the way, but you can see there is a gap right here. So anyways, now it is in all the way it's supposed to go, but it's just that this is supposed to move now. So anyways, we'll just grab this and slide it down, and it is working how it should now. So that is our basically caliper servicing and clean them up, make them look better. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you guys learned lots about how to do this. It's very simple, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.